Hi everyone and welcome to yesterday's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Yesterday was so busy. I worked 2 of my jobs. I had a space in between, but I took a nap and General Hospital wasn't even on yet. And then I saw Independence Day Resurgence last night. Yeah, then I passed out. So we're getting to yesterday's right now. So let's get right to it. At the Metro Court, Anna is getting a drink. She's on a first date, but the guy isn't there yet, and she's prepping the bartender with signals to run interference during her date. So Paul comes over. Hi, ECAT. It's like ECAT knows I'm filming, and she's like, I must be here. So Paul comes over, and she immediately signals the bartender. So she gets Paul to move away from her, like not right next to her, and he brings up his feelings for her, which I still can't figure out or a ploy or if there's some truth to it. And he still like pries into what she's doing there. Yes, the famous cattail. And she wants him to relocate if she tells him. And he laughs at the idea that she met someone online and doesn't know what he looks like. And he wants to chaperone. And I'm like, oh my God, like we are not okay right now, Paul. So not surprisingly, she says she can look after herself. And then he says that she should go out with a guy like him. I'm like, that is just the oldest line and it never works. So he then tries to play the, if you really hate me, then why haven't you resigned? And I'm like, yeah, because she should change her whole life because she doesn't like you. That's like when this guy on Facebook was like, well, if you really don't like my messages, why don't you just block me or you haven't deleted your Facebook? I'm like, really? You think you're that important? Anyway, she says she hasn't resigned because of the Julian case and she wants to be involved. So she calls him shallow and self-absorbed. Here, ECAT, say hi. Say hi, my name is ECAT. Hello. She brings up the stuff he's done in his past on the show, and how he was worthwhile then, and now he just seems to be all talk. So Sawyer, who was the name of her date, is over an hour late. No text or anything. He is a doctor, so that could have something to do with it, but probably not. And Paul confides that, he was hollow and cold when he got back to Port Charles, and he should have reached out to Dylan sooner and, been more involved with his life, and he really does regret that. But he doesn't like this version of himself. At Crimson, Nina is reading through the instructions for the certain specialty product, and Dylan comes in. She tries to play it off, and she brings up he and Kiki. Hi, ECAT. Do you have to push the camera? So he tells her it may never happen with Kiki. And Dylan knows that, there were reasons to stay away. Kiki was more than upfront with him, and he tells her that Morgan dropped by while he was out, and he doesn't want to pressure Kiki into a decision, and he doesn't want to overstep when she's talking about Franco, and she's like, no, you're fine, don't worry. And he says that she could do better, and her and Franco want different things, and he doesn't want her to wake up one day and realize that Franco can't, it's not working. He really cuts to the chase too. He doesn't yeah. So she says he makes a valid point, but she's miserable without Franco, and that this time away has shown her how amazing they were together. So Dylan thinks he and Kiki were over before they started, and Nina tells Dylan to fight for her and don't give her the easy way out. Make her make the decision. At the hospital, Kiki tells Morgan she's here for him, and she wants to address where they stand. And by the way, that medicine must be magic medicine, because even when I'm on, cold medicine, I still, don't feel good. I wouldn't be going out on errands or to meet people and talk about feelings. I don't even know what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling all the things. So she wants him to be happy and healthy permanently, and he wishes he could erase what happened. And they don't know where they would even start. Would they pick up where they left off, or would they start a friendship again? Logistically, how would this work? And he asked if he's already lost her to Dylan. So Morgan says he totally understands if she's moved on. He's different now, and she's really proud of him. There is honest feelings there, but does it work romantically for them? I don't think so. So he asked for an opportunity to show her he's the man she needs. ECAT, no. And then someone comes up to Morgan. His name is Greg. Apparently they were in treatment together, and once Morgan makes introductions, he says that she's famous around Friedman, and he's not sure Morgan would have recovered without her. no pressure, you know? And I don't know. I know Kiki probably, I don't know how she takes that, but I don't know. I don't think that's the basis for a relationship. Like, the one is totally dependent on the other. You know what I mean? At Lynch Manor, Ava and Nicholas are still working on breaking out, and Ava does manage to get the door open and gets Nicholas's attention because he's off in a corner, like, commiserating with himself. So they go to leave, but a blonde woman blocks the way. Marietta, who is the blonde woman, tases Ava, but Nicholas gets it away. Ava's fine, and then the woman comes back with, like, a spear type thing, as you do. What else? What else would you use? So Sam and Jason are outside trying to get in. She's cautious. She wants to play the tourist angle. He wants to just go in, and he says she can sit out and let him take the risk, and she's like, no. So Jason grabs HUX, and they ask about Ava and Nicholas, and he's like, I've never heard of a Nicholas. And they're like, Niall, and he's like, oh, well, maybe. Then they hear, like, a muffled screaming from inside the house. So it's Marietta, who's Hux's mother. She's all tied up, and she says that, Ava or Mr. Room and Niall or Carity, like, she says the names, and Jason and Sam were like, really, you don't know them? Really? And then they ask where they are. So they're going to go after them, and Hux says that he has a better option. Because it's dark and it's apparently foggy and there's, like, no cell reception. At Elizabeth's new place, we need to name it something. So in case you forgot, we left off with Franco and Elizabeth kissing. Just let that sink in for a second. Alright. So she surprises herself and asks him what he's doing, and I'm like... So she accuses him of using her in a game against Jason, and then says he's as bad as he ever was, which is literally the exact opposite of what she said, like, literally 5 minutes ago. And by 5 minutes ago, I mean 2 days ago. So she says he's not a monster. He is compassionate, which he never had before, but he also does have a manipulative side. And he says she makes him feel like he could do better, and she says she didn't realize he actually listened to her because everyone tunes her out. And I know we've had our major issues with Elizabeth, especially in the past 2 years, but it did kind of make me sad when she said that, because it's one thing to not like a character, but then to like the character to be self-aware that no one likes them and tunes them out. It just kind of made me sad. And she's on an upswing now. I think we can all agree on that. Well, unless you feel very strongly about Franco in a negative way, then I think you back on a downswing. So she tells him he still loves Nina, which that's what this was about for him. It's an excuse to move on instead of moving forward with Nina. And, like, to her, well, he analyzes this, that it was about Nicholas and the fact he might never come back and stuff like that. And she says that could be it, So they agree never to talk about the kiss again, and he gets a text from Nina. And now end scene. So Hux wants Ava. They want Nicholas, so Hux suggests that they team up to find them, and then split them up and, take the party they want, because he knows the area like the back of his hand, and obviously they have the muscle. So they agree to that. Ava and Nick found a large storage or landscaping barn or shed. It seems like a pretty big structure. So they collect weapons, shovels, like Walking Dead type weapons. Ava finds alcohol, as you do in a shed, and they have a drink. Anna calls it for the night. She's decided her date isn't showing up, so she's gonna leave. Paul offers to go with her, and she's like, yeah, no. And she wants him to stay out of her personal life. Dylan thinks history Kiki has with Morgan is going to overtake any chances she would take with him. So, he's not hopeful. Kiki wants to try with Morgan, and they hug, and she doesn't seem happy about it, though. Like, her sparkle's gone again. Dylan gave her sparkle back, and now her sparkle's gone. That makes me sad. Nina says, I'm never gonna have a baby anyway, so why am I making it all about this? Why can't I just be happy with Franco? I'm like, but I don't know, she's successful. She's totally changed her life. I don't think an adoption would be totally out of the question, especially maybe a private one, Liz seems a lot more conflicted about her feelings for Franco. And after he leaves, she, I don't know. I think she likes him, but she won't admit it to herself, which I don't blame her. You know, I think that's scary for her, especially after like she's had a rough few years when it comes to relationships, and then to jump in with Franco, I would be cautious too. But I think, I don't know, I think definitely Elizabeth is on an upswing. Please don't make noise, thank you. All right, so that is it for yesterday's General Hospital recap. I'll see you in like 2 hours, 3 hours for today's. And don't forget to vote for Character of the Week. Plenty of nominees, potential nominees this week. And I will see you in 3 hours for more General Hospital. I hope you have a great beginning of the afternoon. Bye.